Hi guys, so as you know, I'm an advocate for taking money out of politics. I think a serious problem with democracy is the fact that it can be undermined by rich people or businesses giving money to politicians in order to gain favours. Now, you're going to hear Penny Mordaunt, who's going to respond, she's a government minister, responding to Angela Rayner, who raised the issue of Tories taking backhanders. So let's hear how the exchange went.
The charge she makes is that the people she names are somehow on the take. That's the charge she's making here today on the floor of the House.
Yes, Conservative MPs are on the take. They're getting money from private individuals and they're giving something back in return, be it PPE contracts or other types of contracts related to government procurement. I've covered this on numerous occasions.
That they have been focused not over the last 16 months on working their socks off to save lives, to get a vaccination programme up.
Working their socks off to save... No, they have been working their socks off, Penny, but it hasn't been to save lives. It's to make sure that the people who gave them money get something in return. And those people who have donated money, sometimes it's been £10,000, sometimes it's been a lot more than £10,000, they have won contracts. We have evidence to back that up.
And running to do the things that the public need us to do. But they have unbelievably entered into politics, made sacrifices.
Please tell me, what sacrifices has Boris Johnson made? Please, if going from £300,000 a year to £150,000 a year is what you call a sacrifice, well, maybe, but you do understand that Boris Johnson is going to get something out of all of this when he leaves office. And there are other politicians who are in politics in order to make their own lives better, maybe not directly at the beginning by, from an MP's salary, but they're working on the side. They're lobbying on behalf of companies. What sacrifice have these people made? Put them on universal credit. That would be a sacrifice. But these people have sacrificed nothing.
Overcome the obstacles that she will be aware of to get into this place. Not to serve in public life, but to do a mate, or more accurately a Tory mate, or someone that they vaguely know, or met in a lift once, or perhaps don't know at all, a favour.
Exactly. That's exactly. Finally, Penny understands how things work. She understands that people give money to politicians in order to gain favours. So you want a PPE contract, you donate to a Tory MP directly, or you donate to the Conservative Party. And that's how it's worked. That's how it's worked in the past. That's how it's working at the moment. And that's how it's going to work in the future.
That is the accusation that she is making today. And I'm afraid this is why the Labour line of attack is not getting traction, well rehearsed though it is. It's not getting traction with the public because it is not plausible. It is based not on fact, but on speculation, innuendo and smear.
The reason that it's not gaining traction is because you have a media that is not actually pushing politicians to tell the truth, not holding them to account. You have the odd viral video where somebody attacks a politician, on Good Morning Britain or on LBC. But generally, the media are not pushing this message, not pushing this issue. And certainly not in the House of Commons, because Boris Johnson is capable of lying and he's not held to account.
Perceived conflicts of interest are not those that the Right Honourable Lady has made up. The public care about scrutiny. They do.
No, they don't, unfortunately. The public don't give a crap about scrutiny. Because some people were asked, what do you think about Boris Johnson receiving money to wallpaper number 10, his number 10 flat? And the response from many people, including in Hartlepool, was, well, he got me my vaccine. So these people don't care about scrutiny. It's important to remember it's actually the NHS that's rolling out the vaccine, not Boris Johnson. But the general public voted for the Conservatives in the last election because of the vaccine rollout. They didn't say we're not going to vote for Boris Johnson because he's corrupt. They actually said, we don't care if he's corrupt.
Care about accountability and transparency and standards in public life. What they see through, though, is the performance the Right Honourable Lady has given today, which is designed to smear decent colleagues and denigrate...
Decent, please. It's difficult to watch this. It's difficult enough, okay? Please don't use language like decent colleagues. Matt Hancock is not decent. Jacob Rees-Mogg is not decent. Boris Johnson is not decent. How can you stand there with a straight face and call these people decent?
...denigrate British business. I would direct her, Mr. Speaker, to the National Audit Office report, which refutes the accusations she's made about MPs, civil servants, business and members of the public. But I'm sure the Right Honourable Lady already knows that. I would suggest to her that an Essex MP is perfectly entitled to forward an offer of help from the Essex Chamber of Commerce to help in a pandemic. MPs do it all the time. It is part of our job. But the Right Honourable Lady already knows this too, and I'm afraid so does everyone else. The urgent question today has more to do with Labour's internal politics and divisions than the conduct of members of this House.
So, when people ask a question like, why is Matt Hancock handing over contracts for PPE to companies or individuals who have donated to the Conservative Party? This is not an issue. No, this is just the Labour Party trying to distract the public from its internal politics.
And enterprises who have been working to help the NHS and to save lives. The Honourable Lady has made particular accusations today about colleagues, and I just want to make a final point, Mr. Speaker, because if you were to take every single MP she's made an allegation about this afternoon, and you were to look at all of the political donations they have received since the pandemic started, since January 2020, if you were to add them all up, if you were to double them, no, Mr. Speaker, if you were to quadruple them, you would still just about match what the Honourable Lady herself has received in the same time period.
Okay, so what she's talking about here is basically, well, you shouldn't point the finger because you're corrupt too. So actually, let's look at that. So let's first look at Penny. Penny, these are her financial disclosures. There's not a lot of information here for some reason. I don't know why that's the case. She's been an MP since 2010. But it says here a list of companies and who have donated money to her. First Corporate Consultants. This is a private limited company. They donated £10,000 to her. She also received £2,000 from 2020 Production Services, £2,500 from Evershed, a legal firm, Boston Consultancy Group. One individual donated £3,000, £2,000, £10,000. So on the surface, she hasn't received a huge number of donations. Now, this is just one minister, Penny. Maybe she's not very sought after in Westminster. Maybe, you know, if we look at Boris Johnson or Matt Hancock, we're going to see something different. But I'm not going to focus on them. I just want to compare Penny to Angela Rayner. Now, if we look at Angela Rayner has received a huge amount of money. We see here Wahid Ali gave her £50,000. GBM, a trade union, gave her £25,000. Rashid Agarwal gave her £10,000. Another trade union, £10,000, £20,000, £1,000. So it's a lot of money has been sent. But what's interesting is if we actually look at the people who sent money to Angela Rayner, you can see here, this is one man, his name is Trevor Chin. He sent, let me see, he donated £25,000 to Angela Rayner, to the Labour Party, via Angela Rayner. He's the president of the Reform Movement for Reform of Judaism. What do you think his reason to give money to Angela Rayner is? Because he cares about social issues. Another that gave money to Angela Rayner is the CWU, which is a trade union. So why do you think they gave money to Angela Rayner? In order to protect unions, protect workers. Another person who donated money is Wahid Ali, who is a member of the House of Lords. He donated, how much was it? At the very top, I think it was, £50,000, a huge amount of money. But it seems to be because he wants her to protect, to work on social issues. He's not getting something in return financially, because what is the difference between Angela Rayner and Penny, who's receiving money from companies and private individuals? One is in power and the other is not. One is part of the government and the other is not. So it doesn't make sense to give money to Angela Rayner in order to gain a favour, because Angela Rayner's not in government. It makes more sense to give money to Penny Mordaunt in order to gain a favour, because she's in government. As I said at the beginning of the video, giving money to politicians is not good. I think we should move away from that. But when you're giving money to a politician in order to gain a favour, to win a contract, this is very different to giving money to a politician in order for them to champion some social issue. You're not gaining something in return financially. You're not winning a contract. You're not getting your back scratched. So I think it's important to remember that when the Tories say, yes, you're taking money too, it's for a completely different reason. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?